guys, we're back. And quick update. Still having trouble sleeping. I woke up like 3 times last night. I took 3 melatonins. Didn't really do much. My under eyes are definitely paying the price, and I will keep you guys updated if I ever do actually go to sleep. Hopefully, I can get through this video. Okay. And back with another song by Eminem. What song are we doing?
My first single.
I don't know. I don't think I know it.
So it's a controversial song. A lot of people say it's his worst song.
His worst song ever?
Yeah, I don't agree. I actually unironically like the song.
Oh,
It's obvious that he's fucked up at the time, but it's meant to be silly. But I actually kind of like what he does. So
all right. Well, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on all social media channels. The links are in the description below. Username's right there and everything.
So much for first single on this one. Shady's a label, aftermath is a stable. That the horses come out of Eric. Of course, what about the stirrups? Some shit thick is mixed water with syrup. Is the Mr. Pickin' Christopher Reese just for no reason other than just to tease him? Cause he was his biggest fan. He used to be Superman. Now we're pouring liquor on the curb and his name pouring. Eminem, you wait till we meet up again. Popper, I'm kicking your ass for everything you've ever said. It goes one for the money, two for the fucking show. Ready, get set, let's go. Here comes the bucking bronco, stomping and stampeding up the damn street like in Buffalo. Soldiers, I told you I'm about to blow, so look out below. Geronimo, motherfuckers, is dominoes. I'm on the roll, around and around I go. When will I stop? I don't know. Trying to pick up where the Eminem show left off, but I know anything's possible. Though I'm not gonna top, but I sold. I'm at the top of my game. That shit is not gonna change. Long as I got like a Dre on my team, I'll get away with murder. I'm like OJ. He's like my Cochran today. We keep the mark from in tapes in a safe, lock 'em away. Better watch what you say. Just when you thought you were safe, them fuckers got you on tape. You swear to God you was playing, whether or not you was little Joshua. Gosh, I wish I could've told you to not do the same. Cause one day it could cost you your name. This was supposed to be my first single, but I just fucked that up, so fuck it, let's all have fun, let's mingle. Slap a bitch and smack a hoe. This was supposed to be my catchy little jingle that you hear on your radio. But shit's about to hit the shingle. Oh, 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 no.
What? Is he burping and farting?
yeah,
Ew.
it's fucking great. So we'll get more into it in the chorus, but the title of the song is My First Single. So imagining that when he was making this album, they were like, all right, we need to have a first single. And, this is I personally really like this beat. So I think they got this beat.
The beat's interesting. It's
And,
pretty different.
because of his state of mind, this was the song he made. So he's making fun of first singles, you know what I mean? And making a
Yeah.
mockery out of it. But I don't know, I think it's very funny.
It's funny, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely was never could have been a first single in my opinion.
No.
But
Yeah. So he starts off, oh, yeah, so much for the first single on this one. So he starts right off saying, Shady's the label, Aftermath is the stable that the horses come out of, because we're about to stir up
ah,
some shit thick as Mr. Butterworth syrup. So, yeah,
it's like
it's very good. There's bars in, I think people are so put off by the,
how like sort of like stupid the song is.
yeah, it's being silly, it's all over the place. I mean, there is some consistency in it. I mean, not really,
And
but
the
kind
beat's just
of.
like very chaotic
I know. I
too.
like that though. I do. So so he's Shady, but he has his label, Shady Records. And
Yeah.
then Aftermath is the stable. So Aftermath is the parent label to Shady Records. So, Dr. Dre
Yeah.
has Aftermath, Eminem's Shady, and, G Unit's there, like everybody. So Aftermath is the stable that the horses come out of. So, Aftermath is like their camp, and that's where everybody's coming out. And then he says, of course, we're about to stir up. So that's a double entendre. So
Yeah, because of the horses.
yeah, the stirrups and then stirring up thick shit.
And then syrup.
Yes,
Sounds like
as
syrup.
yeah, as thick as Mrs. Butterworth syrup. It's the Mister picked on Christopher Reeves just for no reason other than just to tease him, because he was his biggest fan. He used to be Superman. Now I'm pouring liquor on the curb in his name for him. So again, this he's just fucking with him.
He's still alive at this point, right?
So
Or did he
no. So
pass?
at this point, I believe he is still alive when this song's being
Got
played.
it.
But he does make fun of him after he dies, which
Yeah.
we'll hear in Relapse, which is very funny to me. So yeah, he says he's fucking with him for no reason, just to fuck with him. It's not like it was an inside joke and they were secretly friends.
Yeah,
Like
he doesn't
I
like it. He
believe,
told me that.
yeah, they asked Christopher Reeves and
He like really doesn't
he
like it.
wasn't in
He
on
has
it.
no idea what happened or what he did wrong.
Yeah, and
Poor
then
guy.
Eminem is infamously a like comic book nerd. So when he says that he was his biggest fan, like he's not joking about that. You know what I mean? He really
Oh,
does love superheroes and shit. And then he says pouring liquor on the curb in his name for him, which is funny because
he's still
he was still
alive.
alive, but I guess he's not Superman anymore, so
Well,
he's pouring out
no,
liquor for
because
that.
he's a quadriplegic.
Yeah. And then he imitates Christopher Reeves, with like one of those
Oh
vocoder
my god.
boxes. And he says, Eminem, you wait till we meet up again, fucker. I'm kicking your ass for everything you've ever said. And then he says, it's one for the money, two for the fucking show. Ready, get set, let's go. Here comes the bucking Bronco. Stomping and stampeding up in the damn street like them buffalo soldiers. I told ya, I'm about to blow. So look out below, Geronimo.
It was pretty good
I know,
lines.
I actually, it's so funny. I mean, I understand why some people don't like it, but I do not think this is his worst song. Like, not even close. I really like it. So then he says, motherfuckers, it's dominoes. I'm on a roll. Around and around I go. When will I stop? I don't know. So he's saying, yeah, look out below. So it's he's following the rhyme from before. He says, dominoes, I'm on a roll. Around and around I go. When will I stop? I don't know. So, like dominoes, he's knocking
Yeah,
everybody, starting
he's
shit.
tumbling down.
Yeah. Trying to pick up where the Eminem show left off, but I know anything's possible, though I'm not going to top what I sold. I'm at the top of my game. That shit is not going to change. So the Eminem show was insanely big, right after it came out. I,
Mm.
I believe it's his best-selling album to this day.
Yeah.
So he's saying, he's not going to be able to sell as many albums as he did on the Eminem show with this album, Encore, but he's saying he's at the top of his game and, nothing's going to change. Long as I got Dr. Dre on my team, I'll get away with murder. I'm like OJ. He's like my Cochran today. So actually, I'm going to keep reading and we'll go back. We keep the Furman tapes in a safe, locked them away. Better watch what you say. Just when you thought you were safe, them fuckers got you on tape. You swear to God you was playing, whether or not you was little Joshua. Gosh, I wish I could have told you not to do the same, because one day it could cost you your name. Okay, so long as I got Dr. J on my team, I'll get away with murder. I'm like OJ. So we all know that
Yeah, of
reference. OJ Simpson.
course.
He's like my Cochran today. So Johnny Cochran
Lawyer that
was,
got him off.
yes.
Yes.
So that part we all understand. Then he says we keep the Mark Furman tapes in a safe, right? We keep the Mark Furman tapes in a safe, locked them away.
What are
Okay,
those?
so there's two stories I need to explain. So Mark Furman was a police officer in California that was related. So he testified in the trial for OJ. Now, I don't believe he was personally involved with handling the evidence, but the judge allowed these leaked tapes of the officer, Mark Furman, saying racist things and using the N word and
Like get
stuff.
out to like discredit
So,
him?
yeah, so
Okay, I knew that. I knew that.
Johnny Cochran got the judge to admit that into evidence, even though a lot of lawyers would be like, this isn't technically
Because it has
relevant to
nothing to do
this,
with the
but it did,
trial.
so they put it in, they allowed it, and he got screwed.
Well, because they were trying to make it, they were trying, wasn't their case not only just trying to prove that like there wasn't enough evidence, but wasn't it also trying to say that the cops planted everything?
Yeah, so it's a whole long story, but I do believe there was some chain of custody issues with the evidence. Like a cop like had like blood samples like in the trunk of his car and went back to his house at some point, some weird shit. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
that's like
But yeah.
not
So
why they do that.
so okay, so we know that the Mark Furman tape. Now, at this time, as we referenced in Yellow Brick Road, there was that song that resurfaced called Foolish Pride, and where Eminem was rapping about breaking up with the black girl and he
Yes,
was talking
yes.
shit. And so the Source got their hands on that, the Source magazine,
That song.
Benzino, that, and there was another song, I forget the name of it. You could easily Google it, where Eminem recorded when he was like 15 or 16, and he used the N word in it.
Oh.
So this is actually a very interesting bar here when we go back. So as long as I got Dr. Dre on my team, I'll get away with murder. I'm like OJ, he's like my Cochran today. So he's saying like Dr. Dre gets him off, you know what I mean? One, because Dr. Dre's black and he's holding him down, you know what I mean? But he's his artist and they're friends. Then he says, we keep the Mark Furman tapes in a safe, lock them away. So he's referencing his own tapes of him saying fucked up shit. So they did get released, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's like poking fun at the idea. So he did come out and apologize, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He
of
was like
course.
15,
He was a
16.
kid. Like, just like today, like if people said things a million years ago, you should be forgiven for it.
Yeah. So he's kind of poking fun at it, which is interesting. You know what I mean? Like, because there was no denial that he didn't deny that it was him saying those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so he's making a joke kind of out of it. And then he says, better watch what you say just when you thought you were safe. So that's fun, just when you thought you were safe, locked in a safe, the
Ah,
tapes, play on that.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, then he says, them fuckers got you on tape. So again, the Mark Furman tapes, his tapes. You swear to God you was playing, whether or not you was little Joshua. Gosh, I wish I
Who's
could have told you the
little
same.
Josh?
Okay, so this is a reference that I really don't know. So I Googled this. I tried to find, so the only reference that I could find maybe that this could be a reference to is the movie It's a Wonderful Life, I believe. And there was a little kid called Joshua, and he was known as Little Joshua. That's for me. I don't know. Other people might know. If you guys know, please comment.
Yeah.
So, Little Joshua, if it, the reference, the only thing that I can pick up on is it's a reference to the character from the movie It's a Wonderful Life. I believe It's a Wonderful Life, and he was just a little kid.
Um,
So you swear to God you was just playing whether or not you was little Joshua. So in my head, I haven't seen It's a Wonderful Life in years, but I'm imagining he's a little kid. He's saying I'm playing around, whatever. Either way, then he says, "Gosh, I wish I could have told you to not do the same, because one day it'll cost you your name." So again, he's kind of referencing his tapes that got out there. You know what I mean, Eminem,
yeah.
and saying, I wish I could have told you not to do it. Blah blah blah. And then we get into the chorus. It says, and this was supposed to be my first single, but I just fucked that up. So, fuck it. Let's all have fun. Let's mingle. Slap a bitch and smack a hoe. This was supposed to be my catchy little jingle that you hear on the radio, but the shit's about to hit the shingle. Oh. Yeah.
It's good rhyme
And then he goes,
scheme.
oh, ah, oh, ooh, ooh, ah, ah. And then on the last one, he goes, ooh, ah, poo, poo, caca. Like poo, poo, caca. And then, yes, like you mentioned, you hear burping and farting and maybe shitting. Yeah. So we'll pick up here and we will continue.
Eric swallowed some generic sleeping pills and woke up in bed next to his best friend Eric, bare naked. Then he just turned 16 and used a fake ID to sneak in VIP to see R. Kelly. To be so young and naive, for what I wouldn't give to live so Kim and carefree. Paris and Nikki's parents must be so tickled they cherish every picture with their kids with hickeys all over their necks. Hickory dickory dirt, jiggler, look at me work wizardry with these words. Am I a jerk or just jerk chicken or jerk? It's a jerk in the chain. 22 jerks in a jerk circle. Who is it a circle jerk? Oh, wait a minute, what am I saying? Allow me to run it back and rewind it. Well, let me ask you again. Am I just am I berserk or insane, or am I just one of them damn amateurs working the dang cameras, filming one of them Paris Hilton homemade pornos who keeps tilting the lens at an angle? Just recently somebody just discovered Britney and Justin videotapes of them fucking when they was just mouthy tears in the Mickey Mouse Club and dusted them and went straight to the source with them cause they could have sworn someone said no and then tried to erase and record over it. But if you listen close enough to it, you can hear it go up and then it come to find out it was Justin saying I'm gonna come and it's what's supposed to be my first single, but I just fucked that up so fuck it, let's all have fun, let's mingle. Slap a bitch and smack a hoe. This was supposed to be my catchy little jingle that you hear on your radio when shit's about to hit the shingle. Ow, 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 now.
That verse was so much crazier than the first one.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit in there.
What the fuck?
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack. So in the chorus, he does the irra, right? So he picks up the second verse playing on that, right? And he goes, Eric swallowed some generic sleeping pills and woke up in bed next to his best friend Derek, bare naked. So
Eric,
just,
Derek, best friends.
yes. And
Kind of
he
funny.
took sleeping pills that happened to be generic, which is funny.
Yeah. Oh,
It
right.
just
That's
rhymes,
funny.
but it's funny. And then, so that's just a random
Absolutely, like,
segue.
no point.
Yeah, just a guy woke up in bed naked with his best friend. And then he says, Jigga, 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 Janine just turned 16 and used a fake ID to sneak in VIP to see R. Kelly.
That's crazy that like that was like people knew about that stuff back then too.
Yeah, of course, because at this time the R. Kelly P tape was already out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But like the
So,
shit that's out now.
oh yeah, of course. So yeah, it's obviously a reference to R. Kelly and underage girls, and it's another story about a young girl who made a bad decision. And then he says, he, to be so young and naive. Oh, what I wouldn't give to live so Kim and carefree, which is just a random shot at Kim.
Yeah, I
So,
don't even know what that
so Kim
means.
and carefree, yeah, young and naive. Just
He just turned her into an adjective.
yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so yeah, this is what I think people have a problem with about the song, that it's all over the place, but I actually fucking enjoy it. I
It's
think it's funny. It's
interesting.
like a stream of consciousness, even though it's like
Yeah, he's definitely so
written.
high.
Yeah,
He's so high.
I know. So then he continues, Paris and Nikki's parents must be so tickled. They cherish every picture with their kids, with hickeys all over their necks. So Paris and Nikki
Yeah.
Hilton, obviously they were famous at this time. And then we get into Hickory Dickory Dirk Diggler. Look at me
He's
work wizardry.
he's in that movie.
Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mark
Wahlberg.
why yeah, I'm blanking on his last name. Mark Wahlberg played Dirk Diggler and he was a porn star.
Yeah.
So he mentions Paris Hilton and then he mentions Dirk Diggler, who was
Yeah,
a
they're just
porn
talking about like
star.
all the people who did porn.
And then he gets more specifically into it later. So Hickory Dickory Dirk Diggler, look at me work wizardry, which is very funny and random.
Hmm.
He
Or like
says,
made one video. I wouldn't
yeah,
really call Paris Hilton a porn star.
yeah,
She's just
yeah.
one night in Paris.
And it says, look at me work wizardry with these words. Am I a jerk or just jerk chicken? Or chigga 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 jerk chigga jerk in your chain? 22 jerks in a jerk circle, or is it a circle jerk?
Oh my God.
And then he says, wait a minute.
What?
Yeah. And then he says, wait a minute. What am I saying? Allow me to run it back and rewind it. Wait, let me ask you again. Am I just jerking your chain? Am I berserker
That's a
insane?
really good line.
Yeah. Or am I just one of them dang amateurs one of them damn amateurs working the dang cameras, filming one of them Paris Hilton homemade pornos who keeps tilting the lens at an angle? And then And then he says, "Jigga jigga." Just recently, somebody just discovered Britney and Justin videotapes of them fucking.
Is that true?
No,
Not at all.
no. So I'll explain once we finish this part here. So just discovered Britney and Justin videotapes of them fucking when they were just Mouseketeers in the Mickey Mouse Club, and dusted them and went straight to the source with them. So before I get further into that part. So obviously, Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, they dated when they were younger. They were both
Yeah.
were child stars before the rest of us knew them. They were in the
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse Club. So what Eminem is saying here, there's actually kind of a mess. This isn't just like random. So he's saying that hypothetically, there was this sex tape of Britney and Justin, who are Mouseketeers, 12, 13 years old, right?
Yeah, like
So
babies.
underage porn, right? And then it says, and dusted, so somebody just discovered them, right? And dusted them and went straight to the source with them. So the Source magazine, they were the people that took
That he has problems with.
his songs when he was 15 saying fucked up shit, and they released them to the
Uh-huh.
world. So he's creating a parallel between taking his music from when he's 15 years old and putting it out for the world to see, and taking underage porn and putting it out for the world to see. It's like, we don't expect, we don't do that as a society with
Yeah.
underage kids, because we understand that's why it's not allowed. And it's like,
It's
oh,
also disgusting.
so it's a shot at them saying that they would be so low as to take those videotapes of underage porn and put them out there, the same way they were willing to take his raps from when he was younger and put that out there. So saying they're low lifes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, so go to the source with them. So this is actually funny what he does here. I don't know if you picked up on it. So he says, because they could have sworn someone said "n," so "ni," so the beginning of the N word, right?
Oh,
Which is why,
like picking that up because I was thinking about because they were talking about the sex tape, so it wasn't really crossing my mind.
yeah, so it's a reference back to what the source was actually doing with him, with his tapes. You know what I mean? Right? So then it says, because they could have, yes. So they could have sworn, they said they heard someone say "nah," and then he says, and then they tried to erase and record over it. But if you listen close enough, you could hear the "g," "huh." And then they come to find out it was Justin saying, "I'm gonna come." So obviously he's spreading out the N word over this verse here.
Yes.
The "nah" there, and then he goes further down, and then he got "huh." Obviously play on the N word. And then he says, and then they come to find out it was Justin just saying, "I'm gonna come." So there's technically something very interesting that he did here. You know what I mean?
He was like really trying to say it.
So again, it's a play on those tapes resurfacing of when he was younger, saying the N word, saying fucked up shit, and he's acknowledging on this album and this specific song. He's making a joke out of it, and he's saying how desperate the source is to try to bring him down and just exploit people's mistakes or whatever it is. And then by creating this hypothetical scenario of Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears having a sex tape from when they were kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fucking wild.
Uh-huh.
And then it goes into the chorus, and we got one more verse.
Oh, good.
Any opinions or something you just wanna get off your chest and address it about my lyrics, I'd love to hear it. All you gotta do is pick up the phone and just dial up this number. It's 1-800, I'm a dick sucker. I love to suck a dick, and if someone picks up, you can talk all the shit you want about me. Just type in your number back and follow it by the pound key, and I'll be sure to get back as soon as there comes a day that I follow with Dre. Wake up gay, make up with Ray. So fuck a chicken, lick a chicken, suck a chicken, beat a chicken, eat a chicken like it's a big cock. Look at me. Or suck a dick and lick a dick and eat a dick and stick a dick in your mouth. I'm done, you can fuck off, fuck up, fuck off. And this was supposed to be my first single, but I just fucked that up, so fuck it, let's all have fun, let's mingle. Slap a bitch and smack a hoe. This was supposed to be my catchy little jingle that you hear on the radio, but shit's about to hit the shingle. Ow, 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 now.
So we'll go through the third and final verse. So he starts the third verse by saying, any opinions or something you just want to get off your chest and address it about my lyrics, I'd love to hear it.
Sure.
All you gotta do is pick up the phone and just dial this number. It's 1-800. I'm a dick sucker. I love to suck a dick. Which is
You know how
just
long it would take to dial that number?
I know, it's a lot of digits. And he says, and if someone picks up, you can talk all the shit you want about me. Just type in your number back and follow it by the pound key. And I'll be sure to get back as soon as there comes a day that I fall out with Dre, wake up gay, and make up with Ray Benzino, the owner of the
Uh,
source. Yes.
okay.
Then he says, so fuck a chicken, lick a chicken, suck a chicken, beat a chicken, eat a chicken like it's a big cock, big cock.
Like a block,
The bagat.
block
Yeah,
butt.
so that's clever. He's playing on the bagat
Hmm.
and the big cock, obviously. Or suck a dick and lick a dick and eat a dick and stick a dick in your mouth. I'm done. You can fuck off, fuck off.
Like the macaque.
Chicken again. Yes. So third verse saying he doesn't give a fuck your opinions. He doesn't care. If you have a problem, call this number. That obviously doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And then he's saying the day that somebody would pick up that phone number and call you back to talk to you
It like
about
would
it
never come.
is the day that him and Dre aren't friends anymore. He
Yeah.
wakes up and he's gay. He's friends with Ray Benzino again. And then
Yeah.
he just does all that. And
Then it just ends with the chorus and like a lot of bodily noises.
yes, which is in the chorus every time, which I think is very funny.
Yeah.
So, my first single.
There were some really great raps in there, some good verses.
Yeah.
But like the content though, like it's funny, but like it's something for me, it's like something you listen to once and you laugh at and you're like, okay, I'm probably not gonna listen to that again because like why?
That's funny.
You know what I mean? Like it's like funny, it's like novelty,
Yes.
but like it's not something I'm gonna be like, oh, let me play this in the car while I'm driving. Like, no, not for
So,
me at least.
no, so I agree. So this isn't a song I listen to a lot. So I'd say about once or twice a year, I go through Eminem's whole discography. Like while I'm at work, I'll starting with the Slim Shady LP, and then I'll go all the way through. Takes me a few days while I'm at work to do it. But I really do. I enjoy this song. I've heard it so many times, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, so you
it's
have
in
like
my
an
head.
appreciation
I
for
do.
it.
And I love the way it like he starts like with the rapping, where he's like Shady's the label, aftermath is the stable that the
Yeah, no,
horses
the
come
raps
out
are
of.
really good. Like
Yeah,
a lot of them are pretty good for such a
wild
like
song.
funny song. Yeah.
Yeah, so no, his cadence is great in a lot of parts. Um there's some good rhymes in there. There's some good double entendres. There's a lot of like backstory and like information about like what was going on in his real life. There's a lot of like references that if you don't know them, you'll be in the dark.
Yeah, of
Even
course.
like that.
And pop culture references.
Yes, a lot of those. Um, yeah, so it's silly, it's wild.
Yeah. Like I don't hate it.
Yeah,
It's just not like a song that I would listen to more than once, I don't think.
yeah,
It's like a song that you show your friends when you're like you want to shock them. Like it's
yeah,
perfect like reaction song.
for sure. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool that you actually don't know that. That's interesting.
You know, I never heard this before.
Yeah, so like I said,
I'm not surprised I never heard it
it's
before.
controversial, meaning that there's a lot of people that hate this song and they think it's his worst song.
I
I
don't hate it. I don't know if it's his worst. I haven't heard everything. I just, it's nothing, it's not like the best song ever.
no, I agree. I don't think it's his best song, but I appreciate it for what it is and the time it came out and what he was
Yeah.
going through. Like all of that to me plays into it. And even if I was going to strip it all away, I still wouldn't say this is his worst song at all. You
And
know,
what is his worst song?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I
Maybe
wouldn't know.
maybe off of there's one song off of Revival I didn't like.
Oh, you don't like two songs that I like.
So I don't hate them, and I don't think they're bad songs. I just don't listen to them like you do. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Hmm.
But it'll be interesting. When we finish the catalog. We'll have to decide what we think his worst album is and his worst song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and I'll let you know how I'm sleeping.
See you. Bye.